Am I wrong for reacting with disgust to my boyfriend sharing an experience he had as a paramedic? Hi, I'm a 23 female dating a 33 male. I'm feeling super conflicted right now after my boyfriend just shared a story with me about an experience he had while working as a paramedic. Basically, he told me this with the preface that it was a funny but extremely messed up story. He has a twisted sense of humor and his partner at work does too, but I felt this was too far. On to the story. He arrived on the scene of a 25-year-old dead girl who had drowned, and part of his job is to pronounce people dead and obtain a time of death. His partner and he unzipped the mesh bag that her body was in, and his partner said, "Turn her over, I want to see that ass. Did you see the way her back was arched when she was laying flat?" My boyfriend proceeded to flip her over to see her ass. She wasn't naked but wearing a bikini, and then flipped her back and put her back in the bag. The police officers on the scene looked at them in disgust. My boyfriend expected me to laugh, but I think this is too far and violative and frankly a little gross. He says it's not that serious and regrets sharing it with me. Am I the a-hole? Oh my god, that's disgusting. There was a story I think I read a couple months ago on here of a woman who said that when her husband used to work at a morgue, he was violating the dead women that were in the morgue. Like, I don't want to say exactly what he was doing because I don't want to get, but yeah, he was violating the dead corpse, and I don't understand. That is so disgusting. If a man is capable of doing this, he's also capable of doing that. I also heard there's a reason like why morgues and places like that don't want to hire men, because they tend to do nasty and disgusting stuff like this. OP should run away as fast as she can, and she should never look back. That's what she should do. That is disgusting. The fact that he's trying to gaslight her, he's trying to normalize his nasty behavior so he can do more of it and then get away with it. Am I wrong for making my ex leave my house after he came to visit our son a few days after Christmas? Me, 27 female, and my ex, 33 male, broke up 4 years ago. For Christmas, he wasn't able to come visit our son, 6 male, because he went out of state to visit his girlfriend's family, but he made the time to come visit him. When he got back from his trip to see all the gifts he got, help him set everything up, which is fine. I got my son a used iPhone 8 for Christmas because it's what I could afford, and my son was happy and very appreciative of his new phone like any 6-year-old would be. But when my ex saw the phone, he got upset and started yelling and braiding me for getting him an iPhone 8 instead of something more exclusive like an iPhone 12, 14. Mind you, this man didn't spend $1 on Christmas gifts for my son, despite having a good job and working there for 4 years. So I told him to stop yelling at me in front of our son firstly, and second, I paid for the phone and our son likes it. He's only 6, he doesn't need an iPhone 14, but he wasn't trying to hear it. He kept yelling and eventually said, "I'm going to buy him a better phone and keep it at my house because you're a cheap B-word." And before I could even respond, my son, who was watching everything, took the phone and threw it and said, "Yeah, this phone sucks." That set me off. My son loved his new phone until his dad came in here and started yelling about it being a bad, cheap phone. So I told him to leave, but he refused to leave. And still yelling, he told me I can't deny him seeing his son since he couldn't see him for Christmas. I threatened to call the police if he didn't leave. He proceeded to call me more terrible names in front of our son before he left. Since his mom and girlfriend started texting me, calling me names, and accused me of being jealous and bitter for kicking him out when he only wanted to see his son. But I haven't responded to them. After my ex left, my son was upset because he loved spending time with his dad and hated to see him go. But wouldn't you know, he picked his phone up and started playing Roblox with his cousins and hasn't complained about the phone since. Although I did feel bad for my son when he was crying about his dad leaving, I think I did the right thing by making him leave because he was being just disrespectfully by yelling, belittling me, and calling me names in front of our son. But my son really didn't want him to leave. Am I the a-hole? He's definitely not the a-hole. If he wants to spend time with his son, he can take him to his house. You can't just come in someone's house and disrespect them. And I'm so confused as to why a 6-year-old child even needs a phone to begin with. Maybe a tablet, a little small tablet, but a phone? That's crazy. Am I the a-hole if I bring my son to meet his grandmother? I, 29 female, have a son 10 named Ryan. I have been with my husband, Jason, 36, for 6 years, and he's the only father Ryan knows. Ryan has never met his biological father. I told him about Ryan, and he didn't believe me at the time, and I did everything in my power to protect Ryan from feeling rejected, but I always was honest with Ryan and said if he ever wanted help finding them, I'd help him. Ryan has been asking lately about his biological father and his family. I've been answering as best as I can, and he wants to meet his biological grandparents. I have been thinking about it for a few months, and I understand why he would want that. I didn't tell Jason because he's really sensitive about the topic. I dropped off Ryan on a play date with a friend who lives in the same town his biological father's parents lived in. I decided the worst case scenario would be them telling me they don't want to meet him, but I had to try, and by Ryan not being there, I could still protect him from potential rejection. Or the other worst case scenario would be that they moved and I didn't know where they moved. I went to the house and knocked on the door. My ex's mom answered and she was surprised. I asked if I could come inside and talk to her. I told her about Ryan and that he's been asking about them. She was certainly shocked and asked to see pictures. I told her she didn't have to make a decision right away, and if she wanted to talk to her son first, I understood, and gave her my number if she ever wanted to reach out. That was a month ago, so I assumed she didn't. I received a phone call on Christmas that after a lot of thought, her and her husband went to meet Ryan when he was ready. At this point, I told Jason and it became a huge fight. Today we thought Ryan was playing outside and had another argument about the situation. Jason said I had no excuse to go behind his back when he's Ryan's father, and I yelled back that he can't take away Ryan's biological father's parents if he wants to meet them or he'll resent us. Ryan must have come inside the house and we didn't hear him. So he heard Jason say it would never happen and that he'd divorce me if I did it. Ryan immediately started crying and ran to his room. I told Jason I needed space and brought Ryan to my parents' house. His family is saying I am the a-hole since Jason is his father and my family has pretty split opinions. I just want to do what's best for Ryan, and he shouldn't feel guilty for ruining that relationship. Him not having that was our choice, not his. So am I the a-hole? Edit. It won't allow me to comment, so I'll answer questions here. I saw someone comment about the bio dad not being in his life for a reason. It was just as simple as we were young. He didn't believe me. I didn't push after Ryan was born and never went after him for child support. He assumed whether it either wasn't his kid or never bothered to find out if I gave birth. I don't know which. The grandparents never knew. I thought it was his place to tell them, not mine, until Ryan wanted to know. Honestly, OP should do what's best for her son because when it comes to kids, I'm willing to die on the hill that kids always need their dad and their mom, as long as the parents are good, obviously. And if Jason loved his stepson like he says he loved him, I'm pretty sure he should. I'm pretty sure he's supposed to want that for his stepson to find his biological dad, for his stepson to have a good relationship with his biological grandparents. Why would you step in between that? Clearly, the son is yearning for that side of the family. Obviously, children always want their biological family more than other people, and it's not a dig at him. It's just how I think human beings are created. Everybody wants a connection with their mom and their dad. Everybody wants connections with their grandparents and from both their mom and their dad. Like, that's not a dig at him. If the child gets what he wants, then he gets what he wants. If he doesn't, then he'll still play the daddy role like he always did. It's not a competition. This is a child's well-being and life at the end of the day.